Hi, good morning. My name is Arjit Paul, and I'm the trainer for the Canva course from Uplatz. Today's topic is basics of color theory. So, in this end to end lesson, we are going to have an in depth knowledge of understanding the different forms of color psychology, its impact, how colors affect our outlook, it designs, and this is going to have a deep dive journey into our end to end graphic design knowledge. So, in the last session, we laid the foundation by understanding what graphic design is and why is it important. Today, we'll focus on one of the most powerful tools in a designer's toolkit, which is color theory. So, color isn't just about making designs look pretty. Color is also about creating emotions, grabbing attention, and also sending messages. So, by the end of this session, we'll understand how to use colors effectively in our designs and even create our own color palettes. Give me 1 minute. So, this design is divided into three sections. And today we'll divide the section by talking about the first section, which is color psychology and its impact on design. So, color psychology studies how colors evoke emotions and influence behavior. Each color is associated with specific feelings like trust, energy, or calmness. Understanding color psychology helps you choose colors strategically. Let's have a deep dive understanding with the end-to-end documentation which we have regarding the same. And let me see this. So we'll go into ChatGPT and we have our separate project titled Canva from which we are going to have this option. And we're going to have a prompt help me understanding section 1 for day 2. So this section talks about color psychology and its impact on design in an end-to-end way. And we are going to have this example in the best way possible. So what is color psychology? By definition, color psychology is the study of how colors affect emotions and decision making. Colors can evoke specific feelings, making them a powerful tool for creating impactful designs. How do you feel when you see red? Does it energize you? What about blue? Does it feel calming? So this question gets learner thinking about their personal reactions to colors, setting the stage for a deeper discussion. As a key takeaway, we can understand colors are not just decorative, they have the power to communicate emotions and influence behavior. So this makes choosing the right colors critical in design. I'm going to have just a copy of this page. We're going to see by understanding what color psychology is. Okay, explain different colors and their significance in graphic designing end to end. Yeah, so we also have the access of Canva. We have upgraded to using Canva Pro, and slowly we are going to understand how we can use Canva to create amazing content in form of videos, animations, graphics, and out of everything, color is one of the most important part where it shapes us this entire psychology in the best way possible. Deleted that by mistake. So if we go to this presentation, what you see, we can understand the emotional association of colors. So each color can signify in a different way. And if we go down, we see point number 1.2. We have the emotional association of colors, where each color carries emotional and psychological associations. So here is a deeper look of all these components. So the first point is red, which classifies of passion, energy, and urgency. The applications are also pretty amazing, where we got sales promotion, limited time offers, warnings or alerts, stop signs. So we can use the color red into all these kinds of content. We can carry and we can use red in sales promotions. We can understand the usage of the color red on warnings or on alerts. Again, if we just type over here something like sales promotion, and if we just go to the Canva into understanding all the components which we have, we see that the color red is predominant into most our settings. Okay. So if we look into this, we see that the color red drives the urgency reason. And even though it's a very unique designed product, it's a very beautiful car, emboldened in red, we see the backgrounds, the images, everything is driving us into this gradient shape of red, which is amazing. We can assign different colors to the background, but as you can see, the color red is looking the best out of all, right? So if we try to understand this in a deeper way, why is this happening? Because red signifies passion, energy, and urgency. What is the psychological impact? It evokes strong emotions like excitement, urgency, passion, stimulates appetite, and grabs attention. So, in major logos, in major companies, we can see that the branding color is associated as red because of its huge psychological impact. It also has certain applications in design where we can use red in sales promotions, where it's mentioned we can use red for limited time offer or sales banner to create a sort of urgency. So any design can be created and achieved in the best way possible, as we can understand and see over here. So this is what we can understand in the best way possible. We also have the option of warnings and alerts. And also we have food branding, which is often used in restaurants and food brands like Coca-Cola, KFC to stimulate appetite. We also have warnings and alerts where red signifies danger or caution, making it ideal for stop signs and error messages. We also have some examples in use as well, where a discount flyer with red text to emphasize the sale, a food app using red buttons to highlight key actions like order now. Second point is blue, which signifies trust, calm, and professionalism. So, what is the physiological impact of blue? Right. So here, if we see, blue consists of trust, calm, professionalism. The applications of blue is immense. Can help blue for corporate branding, which can be LinkedIn, Facebook, and also in financial institutions like PayPal. For example, we can see blue is used in company logos to convey stability and trustworthiness. And if we go in a deep dive way, we see that blue has a lot of applications in design. So blue basically creates a sense of reliability and also peace, calmness as well. So that is what we can understand, where you can see all the corporate impact and the basic healthcare advance and all this um, nature. So the applications are immense, where we have corporate branding, healthcare, as well as education platforms. So in corporate branding, it is common in financial institutions and tech companies, for example, Facebook, LinkedIn, PayPal. In healthcare, it is used in medical websites and apps to instill trust and a sense of care. An education platform conveys professionalism as well as focus. We also have the examples in use where a logo for a bank using dark blue to signify reliability, a clean blue background for a healthcare website to create trust. Right, the third point is green, which signifies nature, growth, and health. Psychological impact of green is it represents freshness, growth, and balance. Green is associated with eco-friendliness as well as health. We also have the applications in design where we got eco-friendly brands, which is used in sustainability campaigns and organic products, for example, Whole Foods, Animal Planet. We also got health and wellness, which is a prominent in gyms, wellness centers, and vegan brands. We also got financial growth, which represents wealth and prosperity, often seen in financial tools. So we have certain examples in use which we can understand. Like a logo is used for an organic skincare brand with green leaves. A smoothie ad is used with green tones to emphasize freshness. So let's try to understand few examples for blue, green. So it's very simple. We can just go to Canva and go back. And let's type on something where we can see more of blue. If I type just healthcare, we see the predominant color theme is coming as blue, because for healthcare, for situations where there is a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, the color blue signifies tranquility, signifies reliability, as well as calmness. Right. In 1 second. And hence understand that if we create such a template with the help of Canva, the color blue shows at the top and at the beginning. I don't know. I just want to change the settings so that I can. So after this change, we see that it directly opens right now. Great. So we can transform healthcare a journey to better lives. If we click onto this, we see that we have this background option through which we can change the tones of blue. We also have default colors as well, but as you can see with the theme, with the psychology, and also with the ingredients, the color blue will seem the most prominent and the best. So going by similar example, I'll just go back again. And now we go to the next color, green. Because green talks about growth, nature, freshness, right? So, what is the psychological impact of green? Green represents freshness, growth, and balance. It is associated with eco friendliness as well as health. We have some applications in design as well, where we got eco friendly brands which are used in sustainability campaigns and organic products. For example, Whole Foods, Animal Planets. The next part will be health and wellness, where green is prominent in gyms, wellness centers, and vegan brands. And the next application of green can be in financial growth, where green represents wealth and prosperity, often seen in financial tools. If we go by this knowledge, and if I just type here under the search bar, and now if I'm typing nature, I don't have any filters to choose a particular color. But since the green is the most predominant color of nature, we are getting such amazing codes, such amazing designs. Do things at your own pace. Life is not a race. So, this is what we can understand from the end to end result, how we are able to use this. Again, we have a dedicated image, so it is eliminating all the colors and everything as well. It's trying to detect things which are not there. Right. Even in health and wellness, it is prominent in gym, wellness center, vegan brands. Um, so vegan brand consists of a lot of vegetables, a lot of food from nature. So that's why green is most prominent into it. So again, from the flyer, if I'm just typing gym, apart from black, even black is very prominent. But apart from black, we see some greens as well. Um, I'm just type vegan. Vegan food carries the psychological importance, and psychology for a customer should be that the place from which the food is getting ordered, it should be marketable, it should be very presentable, right? And green is the most important color in terms of that, as you can understand over here. That is amazing, right? So there are some examples which we can use: a logo for an organic skincare brand with green leaves, a smoothie ad with green tones to emphasize freshness. The next point is yellow, which signifies happiness, warmth, and attention. So, what is the significance of yellow? The psychological impact of yellow is it evokes feelings of joy, optimism, and warmth. Yellow draws attention quickly due to its brightness. And if we have some applications in design, we have call to actions. So often yellow is used in buttons like subscribe now because it stands out. Yellow is also used in kids brands where it reflects energy and positivity, commonly seen in toys and child focused ads. That is the best part of understanding color psychology, the options which we have at our disposal, and the many advantages which we can enhance with our knowledge and skill. Let's check one thing. So this is one of the most important parts which we can understand as far as the psychology is concerned. Right, so we have the color of yellow signified as well. And if we can go to some examples of use, we can see there are some examples. A cheerful Instagram post for a summer sale using bright yellow as the background. A children's book cover with yellow accents for energy. So these are some examples which we can see. Let's try to understand this. If we just type Instagram summer post, yeah, we find a lot of colors, but again, this is looking the best. It stands out. Just look at this. I mean, if we just go down, if we go down, we see there are a lot of colors, a lot of different kinds of shades, but this color is standing out the most. It is looking the most significant, and this color is signifying what summer stands for: cheerfulness, brightness, and the vividity, which is very important. Right, so this is what we can understand in the best way possible. Right. So the next color is black. Right, so black signifies sophistication, power, and elegance. So, what is the psychological impact? Black represents luxury, sophistication, and authority. Black creates a modern and minimalistic look when paired with white. We have some applications in design when it comes to black. When we got luxury brands are common in high-end fashion and tech. For example, Chanel and Apple. The next part is minimalistic designs, where black is used in sleek, modern layouts to convey professionalism. The next part will be dramatic visuals, where black provides contrast and focus in monochromatic designs. Well, for example, we can see a perfume ad with a black background and white typography for elegance, a luxury brand's website using black and gold for a premium feel. We can use this to create something, and we have this option of Dream Lab, where we can create few images, we can add words, and it will create our own design. Right, if I just type a luxury brand's website using black and gold for a premium feel and hit create, it will generate this just in a matter of seconds. That is the power of AI, and that is the power of using amazingly lit designs. And if I just click on here, and if I go edit in a design, so this end-to-end option is being used, and just look into this. It is looking very premium. We can use this specifically for websites so that they can signify the premiumness of it. It contains black and it contains a little bit of gold as well. So we can create magic, rather the AI can create magic in a matter of seconds right now. We can add as per what we want. Not sure we can. Right, if I go to this one, we can see that this brand has created this image in a very amazing way. the webs. And if we want to make all these changes, we need to um, use that editing mode as well. So we have cinematic concepts, smart, creative, macro. So we have all these concepts as well, which we can incorporate. And that is really, really amazing. Again, if we move on to the next color, we have white. So white reflects simplicity, purity, and cleanliness. So what is the psychological impact of white? White represents clarity, simplicity, and space. White creates a clean and modern aesthetic. So we have some applications in design where we got minimalism, healthcare and wellness, and we have backgrounds. So minimalism, we can see that white is used in modern website designs to create a sense of openness. Healthcare and wellness also uses white along with blue. You can say that blue, if blue is like the primary color, white becomes a secondary color. And that is what we can ascertain and understand in the best way possible. Right? As backgrounds, we can see white is often used as a base color to make the other elements stand out. So if we go down, we can see white is often used in backgrounds, often as a base color. So it is often used as a base color to make the other elements stand out as well. So we have the examples in use where a wellness app with a white background and soft accent colors has been used for simplicity. A modern tech brand uses white space for a clean, uncluttered design. Um, well, if I can get the example properly laid out, we can again use the Dream Lab to create our design. And here, if I see, let's type this prompt with some precision. A modern tech brand using white space for a clean, uncluttered design. Right. Somewhat it will look like this. Modern tech minimalist. Definitely, we can have these options. We can edit this design. We can have the image guidelines as well, where we can reference the style. We can reference the style from images, and we can transfer this in the same way as we can do for all the other images. So it's important to understand the look and feel of colors before we deep dive into it. Again, for examples, we have the wellness app with a white background and a soft accent colors for simplicity. And if we go down, we see the seventh color here is purple. So purple signifies royalty, creativity, as well as luxury. That is the most important features of using purple. It is associated with wealth. Purple is associated with imagination as well as mystery. Purple stimulates creativity and also inspires a sense of luxury. So, what are the applications in design? Purple is used for luxury products where it is often used for premium cosmetics and high end services. Purple is also used for creative fields, which is common in art and design brands to evoke imagination. And purple is also used in spirituality, where it's used in meditation and wellness campaigns for a calming effect. We have certain examples in use as well, where purple is used for a premium chocolate brand using deep purple for its packaging. A meditation app uses light purple to create a soothing interface. The next part is orange, which talks about energy, enthusiasm, as well as playfulness. So we see that there is physiological impact, a lot of psychological impact is there in the color orange, where it represents fun, vitality, as well as energy. Also, orange combines the passion of red with the happiness of yellow. We also have a lot of applications in design as well, where yellow, or rather orange, is used in sports and fitness. Orange is used to evoke energy and excitement, like Nike campaigns. Orange is also used for youthful brands, where it is perfect for playful, energetic designs. The next part is call to action, where orange is often seen in buttons and banners to drive action. So let's move into some UI UX design, which I was formulating as this section was talking about. So in most of my reports, I have used orange in form of primary colors. I've used orange in form of buttons. And as you can understand, we have used orange mostly in UI UX design as well. So orange is very important to understand. Again, if we go here, we see we have so many applications in design which we can help with the help of orange, which we can use. So we can see that a sports drink ad with orange accents to emphasize vitality. A fun event flyer with orange and white as the main colors. This is simple. If I just go here in templates and if I say sports, I mean, I don't even have to do anything. I'll just pick up few colors. I'll say sports drink. And you see that the pro templates, let's have a look. What is the pro looking? The pro templates are definitely having the color orange as a very, very soothing add-on, as a very soothing experience. None of these colors will look as passionate, as clear as the color orange. And that is the benefit of using orange in our design. Again, if I say UI UX, see that UI UX is often used for the color orange, and even for tech posts, for Instagram related posts, for mobile posts. Even if you're telling or if you're trying to sell a course for professional UI UX design, it will be very important to use the color orange and incorporate it because it gives us the amazing psychological advantage. The next color we can talk about is pink. And pink talks about feminine, playful, and compassionate. So, what is the psychological impact of pink? Pink is often associated with love, compassion, and femininity. So, lighter shades evoke sweetness, while darker shades convey boldness. We have the application and design, where we have beauty and fashion, which is common in cosmetics and lifestyle brands. For example, Victoria's Secret. So as you can notice, Victoria's Secrets do promote a lot of pink, and that is why we do incorporate it in the designs as well. We also have romantic themes, which is used in wedding or Valentine's Day designs. And also we have playful brands, which works well for youthful and creative products. Similarly, we have a lot of examples in use where we can see a makeup brand using blush pink for packaging to evoke elegance. We can also see wedding invitation with soft pink accents for romance. So if we go to wedding invitations, if we go to makeup brands, we will find pink as the most predominant color. Going back to Canva, now if we just type love over here, we'll see a lot of posts related to love. And what is the most primary color? We see that this is standing out even at a glance. Let's shorten this a bit. And this is an amazing transition which we can get. And we can send this to our loved ones, to a special one, and this will look much more amazing when we compare this to any other color. Similarly, if I use something like makeup and put some campaigns for makeup brands, and we see that pink is the most used color without a shade of doubt. Just look at these brands, look at the imagery which they are using. Of the many examples why pink is being used, because it conveys playfulness, it conveys feminine, and it brings the female audience. So they are really attracted towards the color pink because of these capabilities, and it gives us a trend into beauty, fashion, into romantic themes, and playful brands. Because other colors won't appear as good as the color pink, and that is specific to all these types. Similarly, as you can see, blue will look best in healthcare. Blue will look in whenever you have anything which is related to skies, anything related to space, or anything which is related to water. The next color we can have is gray. So gray symbolizes neutrality, sophistication, and formality. Psychological impact of gray is important because it represents balance and neutrality. Gray creates a professional and understated look. Again, we have a lot of applications in design as well, where gray is used in corporate designs. It is used in professional presentation and resumes. We have gray backgrounds, which is neutral base for brighter accent colors. Gray also contains modern minimalism, which combines well with black and white for sleek aesthetic. We have a lot of examples in use when it comes to the color gray, where a tech company logo using gray and white is used for modernity. A minimalist website with a gray background and colorful highlights are also being used. Again, the next color we talk about is multicolor, which talks about diversity, fun, innovation. So there is some psychological impact of it. So multicolor represents inclusivity, variety, and creativity. And gray combines the energy and meaning of multiple colors. The next part is application in design. So multicolor is used in tech and entertainment, where it is common in apps and platforms like Google, Microsoft. We also have some creative fields where multicolor is used to show vibrancy and innovation. So similarly, for PowerPoints and for AIs, they really capture the multicolor variety very well, and they can design slides as per our needs in a very nice multicolor format. An example in use can be Google's multicolor logo to reflect diversity and accessibility, a children's event flyer with a rainbow palette for fun and inclusivity. Next part will be to how we can use this color strategically in graphic design. The first part is to align with brand personality. It is going to be very important to understand the personality of each and every brand. It is very, very paramount to this. We can also understand our audience where we can consider cultural associations and target demographics. For example, red may symbolize luck in Asian culture but danger in others. So, audience is going to be very, very important, right? So, for example, as you have mentioned, the color red is going to be a positive sign, something which signifies luck in the eastern part of the Asian cultures, which talks about like countries like China or Korea, Japan. But it can be perceived as a danger or a threat in Western society. Again, we can combine colors thoughtfully, where we can use complementary colors to create contrast or analogous colors for harmony. For example, we can use blue and orange for contrast, green and yellow for harmony. And if we go down, we see we have test for emotional impact as well. So we can think about the emotions you want your design to evoke and select colors accordingly as well. So as a conclusion, we can see colors are unsung heroes of graphic design. Colors are capable of influencing emotions, behavior, and decisions. So by understanding color psychology and applying it strategically, we can create designs that not only look appealing, but it also can resonate with our audience on a deeper level. Um, right. So if we go back to the slide, we see that we talk about the various emotional association of colors. Then we have learned how we can use colors to influence design. And this is also going to be very important. Different colors can be used in different concepts of graphic design. And also it is very important to combine and use the colors accordingly as well. It's very important to be using colors strategically to influence the audience emotions and decisions. So this is going to be the first section which we talked about. The next part is choosing color palettes. So what is a color palette? Basically, a color palette is a set of colors that work together harmoniously. It is the visual identity of your design or brand. I want to talk about this in an in-depth manner, and we can use this section to talk about the same thing in a more in-depth way. So I'm going to change this slightly. I'll say, help me with the color palette end to end and how and we leverage Canva for this section. Right. So, what is a color palette? A color palette is a group of colors chosen to work together harmoniously. It creates consistency and establishes a visual identity for a brand or design. Why does color palette matters? A color palette ensures your design are cohesive as well as professional. It helps communicate the brand's personality and appeals to the target audience. What are the types of color schemes which we can use? So there are several types of color schemes to choose from. Each has its own emotional impact and use case. The first point is monochromatic. What it is? So monochromatic uses different shades, tints, and tones of the same base color. What is the advantages? It is clean and professional and easy to implement. For example, a tech startup might use a monochromatic palette of blue, which is light blue, medium blue, and navy, to convey trust and professionalism. As a tip, we can use Canva's color picker tool to adjust the saturation and brightness of a single color to create shades and tints. The next part is analogous, what it is. So, analogous uses colors next to each other on the color wheel. The advantages of analogous colors are very important. It is soft and natural. Secondly, it is great for subtle, harmonious designs. For example, a wellness brand could use a palette of green, yellow green, and also yellow to evoke growth and calmness. As a Canva tip, we can use the color wheel tool in Canva to explore analogous combinations automatically. So we also have the third portion, which is complementary. And what it is, complementary uses two colors opposite each other on the color wheel. What is the advantages? So you can use high contrast, vibrant, as well as attention grabbing. These are the major parts. These are the major complementary options which we have. For example, a sports brand might use blue and orange for energy and excitement. As a Canva tip, Canva's color palette generator can suggest complementary colors when you upload an image or logo. Similarly, the fourth point is triadic, and what triadic stands for. Triadic uses three evenly spaced colors on the color wheel. What is the advantage of triadic? It is bold and balanced. Triadic is suitable for playful and youthful brands. As an example, a toy company might use red, yellow, and blue for a fun and energetic look. So, as a Canva tip, we can experiment with the custom color wheel in Canva to create balanced triadic combinations. Well, the fifth portion is tetradic. And these are very technical terms which we need to understand. We can understand all these things in the best way possible. Right. So tetradic uses four colors forming a rectangle on the color wheel. So tetradic has certain advantages. One is versatile and vibrant, and it allows for creative combinations. For example, a festival flyer could use blue, orange, green, and red to create an exciting and lively vibe. As a Canva tip, we can use Canva's color palette ideas feature for inspiration when working with tetradic schemes. Right. The next point is how to choose the right color scheme. So selecting the right palette depends on your designer's purpose, target audience, and brand personality. So here's how we can make the best choice. The first one is consider your audience, where we got youthful audience, which consists of bright, vibrant, and energetic colors like pink, orange, yellow. We got corporate audience, which is muted professional tones. For example, it can be navy, gray, white. And again, we got the eco-friendly audience, which consists of earthly greens and browns. For example, for a children's product, we can use bright and playful analogous colors like yellow, orange, and red. Again, we talk about reflecting the brand's personality, aligning with design's purpose. We have talked about all these things. Activity can be to analyze a brand color. So we can ask everyone to know a well-known brand, and we can actually do this as a task, as a homework. So we can take any brand, just take any brand and understand the color palette. For an example, we got a brand called Coca-Cola. The type of color scheme it is using is monochromatic, mostly red shades. And why does it work? Red evokes energy, excitement, as well as passion. The consistent usage of red ensures instant recognition across all platforms. Right, so how can we use Canva for color palettes? So Canva is an excellent tool for creating, customizing, and applying color palettes. And here's how we can use Canva to leverage the features of color palettes. The first point is Canva's color palette generator, where we can upload an image. It can be a logo or a product photo to Canva's color palette generator to extract a matching palette automatically. For example, we can upload a sunset image to generate a warm palette of oranges, pinks, and purples. The second point is color wheel tool, where we can access Canvas color wheel to explore complementary, analogous, or triadic combinations for any base color. For example, we can choose a base green for an eco-friendly brand and let the tool suggest matching analogous or complementary colors. The next part will be pre-built templates, where we can search Canvas pre-built templates by theme or industry. It can be luxury, playful, to see curated color palettes in action. For example, you can use a corporate presentation template with a professional blue and gray palette for a business pitch. The fourth point is custom color codes, where we can use Canva to input specific hex or RGB codes to align with brand guidelines. Right, we can get Coca-Cola's exact hex code to ensure the brand consistency. This is just an example which we are using and which we can get. So pre-built templates are very important, and we can customize the hex code as well. Save brand kits, and we'll talk about brand kits in the later part of this course. But for now, we can customize color palettes using brand kits, where Canva Pro can allow you to save custom brand kits. And this includes color palettes, fonts, and logos for consistent use across all designs. This is what we can understand. For example, we can save a palette of green, white, and brown for organic skincare brand. So we can also use certain example exercises using Canva as well, where the scenario is we can create a color palette for a startup eco-friendly cafe. Step one is to decide on the brand's personality, where it can be eco-friendly, fresh, and calm. The next step will be to choose a color theme, which can be analogous, which can be green, yellow-green, as well as yellow. Third step is to use Canva to finalize the palette, where we can upload an image of a plant to the color palette generator for our own inspiration. And then we can adjust colors using the color wheel tool to refine the shades. We can do all these things, and I will just keep it for the next lessons. Let's understand the concepts first before we dive in. So going to the last section, let's understand this. Okay, before this, just see this amazing image. I would like everyone to understand, because this is a color wheel. defining the different color schemes which exist. So we have monochromatic, which is different shades and tints of one color. We have analogous, where are colors next to each other on the color wheel. We have complementary colors, which are opposite colors on the color wheel. We got triadic colors, which are three evenly spaced colors. And then we got tetradic colors, which are four colors forming a rectangle. This is perhaps the most important slide of this lesson. And it's very important to understand the psychology and the wheel as well. And it's very important to choose the right color scheme. Consider your audience. The audience should be very properly mapped, whether we are serving mostly to youthful audience or to corporates. We can match the brand personality, where it can be playful, professional, eco-friendly, luxurious, and then we can adapt to the design purpose, which can be sales flyers versus reports as well. Now, that is what we need to understand and we need to achieve in the best way possible. The last section consists of tools of creating color schemes. So definitely we can understand and create this by using Canva in the next lessons. But it's very important to understand all the tools which exist in the market. So we have Canva color palette generator, which can extract colors from images. We have Adobe Color, which explores and creates custom schemes. We have Coolers, which is a user-friendly tool for generating palettes. And we can also, like, I can suggest using Coolers as well. But we can also use the capabilities and power of Color Hunt, which are pre-made palettes for inspiration. Again, for understanding colors, for understanding the different kinds of color palette, an in-depth knowledge and understanding of colors is very, very important as well. So as an activity, we can create a color palette. We can define the brand, for example, a cozy cafe called the Morning Brew. We can choose a scheme which can be analogous with brown, beige, and soft orange. We can also use Canva to create colored squares and label them. It can be primary, secondary, and accent. All these color schemes are being used in the best way possible as well. Also apply our color palette. We can use our palette to create a simple flyer. We can apply consistent colors to the background, text, and accent. We can also ensure the design feels cohesive as well as professional. This is how we can apply our color palette. So we have certain real world applications regarding the same, where brands like Starbucks use green for freshness and eco-friendliness. Coca-Cola's red conveys energy and urgency. Nike's black emphasizes sophistication and power. That is the real world applications of using a color scheme, color psychology, and we can also use the color palette to have an in-depth idea out of all of these parts. If I go to templates, again, it's a best practice to try to understand using templates. Again, we are using a very simple template by Nadia. It consists about a list of certain items, a price list rather. And if we go here, we see we have brand and we can set the color palette over here, right? If we go to shuffle, if we go to edit, we can change our color palette, we can add our colors and see there are lots of options which exist. I mean, we can add as many color palettes as we want. Um, Suppose I want to change this color palette. I make this as price list palette. And here I don't want to see this color. I will incorporate maybe a new color. We have the option of hex code as well, where we have solid colors, we have gradients, and we can choose these colors as well. We can reorder palettes, we can add our palettes, and We can save this as well. We can save this into our brand kit. And we can choose this as our own way. We can pick our color. Let me discard this for now. And if we go to logo, if we go to colors, we see that we have this price list palette over here. We can also reorder palettes. Let's go to up. Let's use the color palette. Let's save now. And we can set up our own brand template as well. So this is what I wanted to explain from today's lesson, how you can set up color palettes, how you can use them for real world applications. And this is how we can conclude today's lesson. Until then, we can also wrap this up with the help of the following topics which we learned. So, firstly, we understood color psychology, which helps evoke emotions and guide behavior. We can choose the right color palette, which enhances our design, and that is very important. Again, we can use tools like Canva to create harmonious color schemes. And as a homework, you can definitely guide to create a color palette and apply it to a simple flyer. So this is what I can conclude today's lesson with. Until then, thank you so much.